Hey everybody, it's Dave Juno, the Meniere's Disease Warrior. How y'all doing? I'm doing okay. I did have an appointment yesterday with my ENT. So I still have some pain in my ear from the the steroid shot that I had. But I have a permanent hole in my eardrum now, so it really shouldn't bother me. But when I asked my doctor about it, she said, yeah, it can cause pain because there's so much pressure on the eardrum. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So, because I didn't numb it up or anything because I had the hole. And she said that makes sense. So I said, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, it's still a little painful, but it's as long as my 4-year-old grandson who's autistic doesn't get into his high pitched squeal, I'm okay. um, so that and we talked about cochlear implant again, and she explained to me that where I didn't. Now this is why doctors, and I don't know why my doctor didn't do it then. He said it was because I had too much. I had enough hearing in my right ear. I kind of find that to be a little crazy, but it's okay. He's a great guy. I trust him. As a matter of fact, I saw him yesterday too, and he was happy to see me. He likes the channel. He's been telling a lot of his patients at Children's. With people have vestibular issues, kids have vestibular issues, for parents to watch the channel. So that was good. I thanked him for that. But she said sometimes when they do the labithectomy, the scar tissue around that cochlear, and you could have so much scar tissue in there that might be impossible. So she finally gave me an explanation, and that's fine. I know it took a while because she was busy, and she didn't have a trainer with her, too, which was a good thing. A lot of the time she had trainers, like doctors with her, shadowing her. So she couldn't spend that much time. So yesterday she was able to spend the time with me, and that's great. And I was like, well, it's okay. I've got the Audicon Cross hearing aids. I can live with these. These are great. I love them. Because she's like, oh, you can hear me today. And then she wants to do the MRI and a CAT scan, not only for this, but for this ear, because I'm having a lot of problems with vertigo and everything. So we're thinking about, I got to see her in like 2 months, and we're probably going to end up doing decompression surgery in this ear, which is fine with me. I'd rather be no vertigo than worry about hearing, especially when I'm hearing fine now. So that was another thing. And then I got the steroid shot, which it still kind of hurts if like I said, my grandson hits that high level. And I asked her about that. I was like, should I get pain in there? I mean, I have a hole in the drum and you're not numbing it, so the needle's going right in the hole. And she said, yes, because of the fluid and the pressure that builds up. She goes, it'll go away in a couple of days, but you'll be okay. And I went, okay, that makes sense. Because some people are like, oh, I don't get pain, or some people say it's tremendous. It's the pressure building up. But while I'm there, I always try to get a question or two in for people to help others. And I asked her a couple of questions. One of the questions was about vermectin, which was a big thing when COVID was huge, which I guess it's coming back. People saying, oh, I took vermectin, it saved my life, and this and that and the other thing. So I asked her about it because people were posting about vermectin for many years. And I was like, I knew it was an animal drug. I didn't know actually what it was for. So I asked her, and she said, nobody's prescribing vermectin. It's a drug for animals. And I said, but what does it do? I mean, I'm hearing people are taking it for Meniere's disease. She goes, well, if they got parasites, they'll be clean. And I was like, what? She goes, it was made for parasites in animals to get rid of them. And I was like, oh, okay. And me being who I am, and I do believe her, but I want to see written stuff, I looked it up. And that's exactly correct. Vermectin is a parasitic drug, anti-parasitic drug, to get rid of parasites in farm animals. Okay, it was developed in Japan and years ago. Okay, but COVID is not a parasite. The virus that could cause Meniere's, that same thing, the herpes virus, chickenpox virus. That's a virus. It's not a parasite. It's not going to help it. If you think it did, it's probably because you're looking at the placebo effect of it. Because your mind can do a lot of things. If you believe that something's going to work, it'll work. So that was one question. So as far as the vermectin, my own personal opinion, even if I didn't ask her about it, I'm not taking a drug that's made for an animal. and it's not going to do anything for you. Because you got to do your research. And I did. I looked it up. And before somebody says something, okay, because it was something about COVID and helping COVID, and it wasn't even an FDA report. It was some other report. But there was an FDA report for vermectin, and it said it was approved for farm animal use. Okay, yes, those drugs have to be FDA regulated too, believe it or not. So, yeah, it's FDA approved for farm animals. Okay. And I even went as far as when I went to the pharmacy yesterday, because I had to, on the way back from the shot, I had to, because I had to change my insurance. I asked them about, do you guys carry vermectin? And they went, not for humans. We could fill it, but it's only for horses and cows and stuff like that. But no, not for humans. So I don't know where this vermectin stuff is coming from. So I just want to let you know, you can do what you want. But I'm telling you, it's a parasitic drug. It's not that. Any other thing, because I see people still talking about microdosing, some of the people. I said, do you know people doing microdosing? And she said, what, magic mushrooms? And I said, yeah. And she goes, yes, but it's very dangerous. It's not something anybody should do unless that's what they want to do. It's a hallucinogen. It works on your mind. It doesn't do much for your body. Yes, it can help people who are schizophrenic, bipolar, in small doses, but it's not something for somebody to take for Meniere's disease. Okay? And then she said, don't do that. Are you thinking about doing that? And I went, no, I had my fun with that stuff when I was a kid. She went, oh, okay. And I said, she goes, why are you asking that? I see a lot of people talk about, the psilocybin, microdosing. She's like, I don't recommend that to anybody. She goes, cannabis, CBD, THC, CBD. Yeah, because it's got a calming effect. It can calm you down. You just don't take enough of it that's going to make you loopy. But that will calm you down. Do you do that? And I said, yeah, I do. And I told her what I do when I have an attack. I said, I switch it up. And she's like, what do you mean switch it up? I said, well, I'll take a Valium, one attack. I'll take meclizine, another attack. And I'll hit my vape or take a gummy, THC gummy, for a different attack. And I switch it up so my body doesn't get used to it. She goes, that's the best. You should. That's a good way of looking at it, because you should switch up things. Because your body can get used to stuff. So if you're popping meclizine every time you get an attack, your body's going to get used to that eventually. Or Valium every time you get an attack, your body's going to get used to that eventually. Then you have to want to take more. She said, so when you switch it up, even with CBD or Benadryl. So there's 4 things I really switch it up with. And she said, your body can get used to it. So switching it up, that's a good thing. She goes, that's a good thing. So, these are things you got to talk to with your doctor. And for those of you who are going to say to yourselves, well, my doctor's stupid, my doctor doesn't know this, find another doctor. There are a lot of doctors out there that know about Meniere's. They know how to treat Meniere's, or at least try to help you. Okay? Because that's another subject. There's a lot of doctors out there, a lot of ENTs that they really don't know. And some of them try to bullshit their way through it. Okay? And that happens everywhere. That used to happen in the copier business that I was in. Techs would bullshit their way through a call, which would end up me going there to fix their bullshit. Or what we used to call wiping their ass. So that's everywhere, but it does happen in the medical field, because yesterday somebody was commenting, my doctor says there's no such thing as Meniere's disease. But yet they're testing him for Meniere's disease. So what does that tell you? There was another one. Oh, somebody today on a post was saying the same thing that this other guy was saying, that it's not Meniere's. That's just a name they threw out there. It's actually TMD, and then they posted something about the jaw and this and that. And like I've said before, I asked the doctor this too. Is Meniere's going to stop being called TMJ? And she said, no. Meniere's is Meniere's. Maybe Meniere's syndrome or Meniere's disease, they're both acceptable. But Meniere's is Meniere's, and it's not going anywhere. Okay? TMJ, you don't have it. It can be fixed, and you'll be fine. if you have TMJ or TMD. You don't have that. Okay? So there are people out there that are saying that Meniere's is going away. It's actually TMD, and and they're so forthright about it. Okay? And my thing is that you're totally wrong. You're totally wrong. You're listening to somebody who's feeding you a line of bullshit, and you can look it up and tell me, yeah, well, it does this, it does that. You want to know something? You want to know the differences between TMJ and Meniere's? You don't lose hearing with TMD or TMJ. You'll have tinnitus and things like that, but you won't lose the hearing. Vertigo. Okay? So, yeah, enough with that stuff. And if you think that what you have is TMJ, or your doctor has said you had TMJ, or you went to that special dentist who knows about TMJ, what are you doing in a Meniere's group is beyond me. Because you obviously don't have Meniere's, you have TMJ. And that just corresponds with the thing is stop telling people what they have when you don't even know who they are. Okay? So, in a nutshell, really, find a doctor that knows about Meniere's. And if they don't, run like hell. Do your research and ask questions. Ask the doctors. Okay? That, vermectin is really an animal drug for animals. Psilocybin, even though, yeah, it can help people with schizophrenia and bipolar, I'm not going to say it won't. It won't. It does nothing for Meniere's disease. Same thing with vermectin. It does nothing for Meniere's disease. So don't think you're going to take psilocybin and feel better. You're probably not. And some people will argue with me about it, but I've taken that stuff when I was young, and I had some nice trips. I probably did, was it no, I was, one of them was a microdose, and I was gone for 3 days. Literally just laughing for 3 days. Sure, you'll laugh a lot. It'll be fun, but it'll make you forget about Meniere's disease. And do your research. Do your own research. Stop listening to somebody. Do your research. Do your own testing. Like the cooking lady there, the cooking lady. I'm sorry, Allison. I know you watch my videos. The carnivore diet lady. She researched that. She did it, and it's help. If it helps her, that's fantastic. I'm not saying it's for everybody, but if it's helping her, that's fantastic. But she did all her research. She didn't just somebody say to her, do the carnivore diet, and she ran with it. She researched it. She did a lot of work on that. So, yeah, and the same thing with me. I researched stuff. I researched the gummies, the THC, my hearing aids, everything. Even, like, right now I'm debating about whether to upgrade my little computer. I have the orange lights on today because I feel orangey. But I'm thinking about upgrading the motherboard. But I'm doing all kinds of research so I get the right motherboard, the right process, all the right things. So I won't have a problem. I've had this thing 2 years, and I've never had a problem with it because I researched it. So that's the thing. Do your own research. Find what works for you. Get it? On that note, hope you all have a great weekend, and I will talk to you all soon. Take care. Remember, you got to do what works for you. And do your research. Talk to you later. Bye.